big boss man. Can't you hear me when I call? Big boss man. Can't you hear me when I call?
All right, let's go.
You know, we call these things a football life. So, what's your earliest football memory? When did you start to be cognizant that you really liked the game of football?
Well, I can remember Mary Ann Haynes jumping up and down and cheering when I was in the 5th grade at a competitive touch football game between my elementary school and Bering Cross Elementary School. And while I was excited about what we were doing on the field, I was particularly exciting that Mary Ann Haynes cheered for me. And I said, this may be for me.
You gonna be a football player when you grow up?
Today is the best day of your life. Believe
Give me 8 years of daylight. That's all.
Greatest leader I've ever known.
What a ride it's been!
We got here with the love of football and love of family. Get in here. Get in here. My God, I may just walk in here. This is a dream. Well, it's a dream. It's just absolutely a dream.
You look amazing.
Yeah, let's get this bump. I need a picture.
Is there a camera? Hey, somebody take a picture.
Oh, are you kidding me? Look at my Look at my That's the best one.
You're about the cutest photographer. The best.
We're honored, I'm honored to have you, our friends, Jim's friends, our family's friends, see just exactly whose shoulders I stood on to wear this jacket. Boys, great to be with you tonight. Now let's have a party. All right.
The greatest to ever do it, the one and only Jerry Jones. We love you, man. Thank you so much for having me.
In August 2017, Jerry Jones was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. To celebrate, he brought a Texas-sized party to Canton, Ohio.
You're such a wonderful friend, and I appreciate you so much.
You are the best. You are just the best. Yes.
Look at it.
Love you.
Thank you, buddy. Well, that was a special treat to have you up there tonight.
I work cheap.
You know I love you.
You know I love you, Jerry.
Well, Chris,
Congratulations. Thank you. This is unbelievable.
It's no surprise that Jones brought the biggest guest list in Hall of Fame history. He's always thought big and acted aggressively.
real inspiration.
Since 1989, Jerry Jones has been the NFL's wildcatter. In the oil business, a wildcatter risks everything he has, hoping to hit a gusher.
I condition taking risk with a tolerance for risk. The term is tolerance for ambiguity. Consequently, one thing I found throughout, not only early in my career, but a common thread through it, is I have a very high tolerance for ambiguity.
Before Jones, the Cowboys had grown stagnant. His eye for risk led them to 3 Super Bowl championships. And made Dallas the most valuable sports franchise on earth.
I could be doing anything in the world I want to be doing this morning. And I want to be here with you. I want to be here with the Cowboys.
He helped catapult the NFL to unthinkable heights. sometimes carrying the league against its will to the top.
The headline is Cowboys owner bucks NFL again.
There's a rather clear-cut attack on a philosophy which has been extremely successful.
He achieved it all with the mindset of a wildcatter.
First of all, you've got to decide, are you managing a widow's portfolio, which is nothing but sure thing bonds?
Yeah, boy.
Or are you managing an oil and gas portfolio, which is taking the risk of oil?
Dallas sent all-pro running back Herschel Walker to the Vikings.
When you're dealing with an NFL football team.
That is deep.
I not only gravitate toward it, but I can function better if I don't know if the next card that comes up, like the riverboat gambler, is going to get me thrown off the boat or I'm going to own the boat.
Oh, Arkansas, 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 hello. We greet you and salute you, and we want the world to know.
Gerald Wayne Jones grew up in the Rose City section of North Little Rock, Arkansas. His education in business began at the neighborhood grocery store his parents owned.
You will abide, Arkansas, Arkansas, hello.
My parents had a very strong entrepreneurial spirit. My father used to pointedly say, Jerry, no matter what time your football practice is over, you come in and be ready to work 2 hours every day in the store. I don't want you to understand any life other than you have to work. Mama used to dress me up with a little bow tie, and I would greet the customers as they came through the door. She would wink if one of the customers would possibly give me a tip if I picked her groceries up and put it in the basket. And I got a little piece of the action. What a great education that I had with osmosis, sitting around the table and listening to them planning their strategies about how they were going to meet payroll. And to this day, I pick up on many of the lessons that I learned around that kitchen table.
After high school, Jones played football at the University of Arkansas, where he caught the eye of a young assistant coach.
Jerry was a try-hard guy and a hustler, and he was a competitor, tough kid. Great trivia question for Arkansas Razorback football is that who is the only person that ever started in the backfield one year and the next year starts in the offensive line? That's Jerry Jones. In his senior year, he moved him to guard.
Jackie Brazel slides through right tackle, follows Jerry Jones on an explosive 7-yard gain for a first down at the right 15.
Jones played alongside a stumpy Texan known as Jimmy Jump Up.
His last name ended in J and mine ended in J, and so they roomed us together. But, you know, we developed a friendship.
While I was in school, I was really working about 3 jobs at the same time I was on scholarship and playing football.
Jerry was a little different cat. He was out working weekends selling life insurance when the rest of them were hanging out at the Shamrock Club or the tea table or some place like that.
I had a gal and her name was Hill down in Arkansas.
Jerry dated the best looking girl on campus. She was Miss Arkansas. I always gave it to him for that because I didn't think he was the best looking guy on campus. But
Jerry and I met in 1960. The very first day we were at the University of Arkansas, and we all went to the county fair.
Of course, you know, big football player, man, you're supposed to be good at games, shooting baskets, throwing balls for winning prizes.
But he wasn't having too much luck that night, so he suddenly disappeared.
And I went behind there, and I figured out a way to get one of them to sell me a teddy bear, and so I came back down grinning like a Cheshire cat and said, hey, I finally got my game down, baby. Here's your teddy bear.
The only girl I ever loved was down in Arkansas.
A month after meeting Gene, He made his second most important discovery on a Razorbacks road trip.
I was on a bus, and I was looking at this magazine, and Art Modell was a feature in the magazine. And it was talking about a man of media has bought the Cleveland Browns, and what he wanted to do was go from that industry or that business and fully immerse himself with the Cleveland Browns. And I said, that's what I want to do. Art Modell, I want to be you.
Jones worked his way up from the bottom of the depth chart to co-captain of the 1964 national champion Razorbacks. Their biggest game that year came against #1 ranked Texas. The heavily favored Longhorns were riding a 15-game winning streak.
We went down to Memorial Stadium in Austin, and there were 70-something thousand fans singing "The Eyes of Texas Are Upon You," and we won. And when we did, I don't want to get emotional, we changed our lives. We changed. I certainly know mine changed. We went back to Fayetteville, Arkansas. I know for one, I wasn't the same cat that went to Austin. That has impacted my life ever since, because I knew that I could actually be a part of something special like that. It gave me confidence in my early business career, and it certainly gave me confidence to think that we could get the job done when I bought the Dallas Cowboys.
In 1966, at age 23, Jerry Jones found a chance to fulfill his dream to own a pro football team. He met with Dolphins owner Joe Robbie, who was selling part of the Miami franchise.
He said, well, Jerry, first of all, I'm really selling minority interests which don't have control. While I was there, though, Mr. Robbie got Baron Hilton on the phone, who owned the San Diego Chargers. Mr. Hilton said, look, I don't have time for tire kickers and people that aren't qualified. Tell him to have $1 million letter of credit on my desk, and then I'll sit down and talk with him. Well, within 24 hours, the $1 million letter of credit was on the desk. My lenders were real. And when that happened, well, Mr. Hilton announced that I was going to be buying the Chargers before we even got out of the gate. Well, I went home to visit with my father, who was appalled. And he said, Jerry, when are you going to get this you-know-what out of your neck? You've got to get on with your life and forget football. I said, well, Daddy, it's the dream of my life. He said, you're not old enough to have dreams of your life.
Jones passed on the San Diego deal. Soon after, the AFL and NFL merged. The Chargers' value instantly doubled, costing him a $6 million profit. Jones thought his dream was dashed, so he became a wildcatter, borrowing money to buy land and drill holes hoping to find oil or gas. But instead of swimming in Texas tea, he was drowning in debt.
I was very aggressive in my business, and I borrowed a lot of money. My income was about $36,000 from commissions. My interest bill alone was $116,000, and that created quite an angst for me. And if I were trying to talk to someone, if I had a glass of water, it took both hands and I would still spill the water. I was shaking so bad because I couldn't pay. And
eventually, Jones struck oil, lots of it. In 1986, he sold his company for $175 million. Soon after, he took a fishing trip with his son Stephen, where the only thing Jerry hooked was a hangover.
The first night in Cabo, old Dad had his share of those good margaritas that they have down there in Mexico. Well, when morning came, I didn't feel like going out on that old rough ocean and getting in that boat, so I just thumbed through a paper from the day before. And there was the Dallas Cowboys were going to be sold. The owner, Bum Bright, wanted to sell the Cowboys. Well, I went up, got him on the phone, said, "This is Jerry Jones, you don't know me from Adam. But if I live," and that's question mark the way I feel, "I'm gonna come back to Dallas, Texas and buy the Dallas Cowboys."
If you haven't guessed, may I introduce Jerry Jones.
Thank you, Tex.
It's on live TV across the state of Texas. And I'm thinking, what in the world has just hit our town? I thought it was Hooterville had arrived.
First of all, I do want to introduce my wife, prettiest woman in the world to me, Jean.
It didn't go over well at all.
If my voice cracks, this is Christmas to me. The Cowboys are America.
We're all thinking this guy ain't got a clue. He's lost.
I intend to know if have an understanding of the cleat situation. I intend to have an understanding of the player situation. I intend to have an understanding of jocks and socks.
After spending every dollar he'd earned to buy the Cowboys, Jones wanted to talk about catching his dream. But many were upset he fired living legend Tom Landry 24 hours after Jones had been photographed with Landry's replacement, Jimmy Johnson.
Jerry, could you tell us what you said to Tom Landry? Are you concerned at all about a backlash because of the way that Tom has been let go? How did you actually break the news?
It was the most inadequate that I've ever been in my life. And if you could grade that conversation from Jerry Jones, I got an F.
We got the britches put on us when we started messing with America's team and America's coach.
It was God, Jesus, and then Coach Landry.
And I think that was a dive into the deep end. Better start swimming. This is extremely visible.
Particularly Coach Landry. I mean, here's a guy who had 20 consecutive winning seasons, took the team to the Super Bowl 5 times, won 2 of them, and whoop, off with his head.
They were America's team.
And now?
They're Jerry Jones's team.
Buddy Ryan of Philadelphia's got more class than our new owner, Jerry Jones.
There are a lot of people who still hold that against Jerry 3 Super Bowl rings later.
The firing of Tom Landry became the greatest PR disaster in the history of sport as far as my mind's concerned.
After that press conference, I get a call. Bum Bright. Bum said, "I told Jerry, I will fire Landry. And then you just come in clean." And he said, Jerry went, "That wouldn't be the right thing to do. I'm buying the Cowboys. I need to make that. I need to take the heat." I told you a little something about Jerry.
Jones took a thrashing for the firing of Landry, but the real beatings were about to begin.
If you'd seen what I bought when I bought the Dallas Cowboys, you wouldn't respect me very much as a businessman.
What do you have here?
I've got some sweet strawberry wine right here. No, this is iced tea, and I keep too much of it on hand and drink too much of it throughout the day.
Hey, Marilyn, is there any tea?
Well, Marilyn has been making it for longer than we both want to remember.
You want some iced tea, Steve? Yeah, I'll tell you so.
So mostly I drink tea, even hot tea. I get high on you, iced tea.
How do you take it? You put sugar in it?
No, I drink it straight.
As an owner, I've made a tremendous commitment. I've made a commitment of my time for the rest of my active days to be an active owner with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to understand every facet.
When Jerry Jones arrived to the NFL, most owners focused on business and stayed out of football, like the Cowboys' previous owner, Bum Bright.
Bum Bright, that was his name? I ain't know his name was Bum Bright. Okay, anyway, that was the owner name?
Yes, it's going.
You didn't see Mr. Bright around the joint. Mr. Jones was letting us know right from the start that he was going to be involved, but we didn't know to what extent. And then when we saw what extent, it's like, wow.
If Jerry could put on a uniform and stand on the sideline and coach and GM and own, I think Jerry do so because he's really in it.
Together, Jones and his former college teammate Jimmy Johnson started rebuilding America's team. Jones quickly discovered he had bigger problems than jocks and socks.
One morning I got up, Christmas Eve, when I used to be sitting there waiting on Santa Claus to come around the fire with my family, and every damn commode in Texas Stadium was frozen but one. I'm sitting there ready to go out there and face a crowd of 50,000 people with but one commode in the whole stadium, plus losing my ass to the actual purchase.
Everybody thought he had been duped into this horrible deal, that he had vastly overpaid for a once great franchise that was now in tatters.
The purchase of the Dallas Cowboys had been turned down by double handfuls of people that had evaluated them. I bought part of the Dallas Cowboys from the government. They had been foreclosed on. They were losing $1 million a month in cash.
At that time, he really was worried, and he explained it all to our 3 children. This is their inheritance, and this is what we've all worked for.
The adversity was intense. The financial adversity was intense, the scrutiny.
There were some reports in a paper earlier this week that the Cowboys were having some difficulty meeting some of their financial obligations.
I was scared that I was going to be known by my family as the crazy old dad that just wanted to be involved in ball so bad that he had it made and then he blew it all over this crazy fixation of wanting to be involved in sport and be involved in the Dallas Cowboys. At the same time, we were really bad on the field.
In the first season under Jones, the Cowboys managed just 1 win.
But you've got a great asset to use to build a team with Herschel Walker. You can trade him. The trick was, how do you get it done? How do you trade it?
In Week 6 of the 1989 season, Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson traded away the Cowboys' biggest star to Minnesota.
And no player in the entire league has gained more yardage the past 2 years than Herschel.
Herschel Walker threatened to wreck the whole deal by not reporting to the Vikings. And so it actually took Jerry Jones writing Herschel a check for $1.25 million, which back then was a huge amount of money in the NFL. Jerry basically bought Herschel's willingness to accept this trade.
Herschel could be on his way to the Super Bowl, while the Cowboys could be on their way to the toilet bowl.
Herschel was a mega star. A mega star. He was the only star when I got to Dallas they had on that team.
A lot of pressure on Jerry Jones trying to turn things around.
Jerry and Jimmy's risk paid off. The blockbuster trade yielded numerous draft picks, which they parlayed into several players who were key to the Cowboys dynasty of the 90s, including Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith.
Jimmy is a gambler, and Jerry is a huge Canton. You know, he's in the oil business. So they were a great marriage. They put together a great team.
In 1992, Jones and the Cowboys gambled on another risky trade for the talented but troubled Charles Haley, whose enigmatic behavior made him unwelcome in San Francisco.
When I got to the airport, Jerry Jones was there. I had no clue who Jerry Jones was, but I learned real quickly. Hi, I'm Jerry Jones out of Dallas. I'm the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome to Texas.
I didn't know that Jerry picked him up. He didn't pick me up.
Well, I didn't want you to get lost when you came in there on the way here.
I met him at the airplane, picked him up, and basically said, now, Charles, I'm not only out here to pick you up, I'm here to have you back, and I'll have it from now on.
The moment that he did that, new life came into me.
I believe you gain value. You can make 1 and 1 3 if there's hair on it. And hair means there's some problems that you've got to work through or past. I don't think we smell a Super Bowl around here if we don't have Charles Haley. And he had a lot of hair on him.
Haley became Dallas's most dominant pass rusher.
Everything came together much quicker than most people anticipated, including probably Jimmy and Jerry.
We were a young team, we were a talented team, but it took a guy like Charles to really validate what we were and give us some credibility.
Pressure from Haley! In Jones's 4th year as an owner, the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl.
The 70s, fell off in the 80s. They're back on top now, and they should stay there a while.
Yeah. 1 year later, they did it again.
Aikman drawn to Smith. Tackled, but breaks away to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Evan Smith.
Yes! Back-to-back, baby! Cowboys back-to-back in the half!
From that point forward, everything changed. All of a sudden, you had security, you had success, you had respect, and people just believed that you could do it, and they all wanted to be a part of it. It was never the same.
Oh! He's been as big a reason for the growth of the NFL as anybody in the last 25 years that I could possibly think of.
And it's fitting now that he's the only active owner with a gold jacket.
Our next inductee bought the Dallas Cowboys in 1989 for a cool $140 million.
Hands together for Jerry Jones.
Congratulations, Paul. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rod. Thank you, buddy.
Good to see you, buddy.
All right, baby. Put this one on. Got it? You think it goes?
Thank you. Hey, let me just tell you something. Your passion is unrivaled. Well, unrivaled. Thank you. More than anybody I've ever known.
Well, but you need to know this. You need to know this.
He eventually landed with the
First decision I made was that's the one I ever made in this whole. That's when your ass came on board.
Thanks. Love you, man.
Deserve.
Back in '91,
In Dallas Morning News football section, our cover story was complete power. And the main story I was writing was going to be how Jimmy Johnson has complete power. And Jimmy said, you better sit down with Jerry in this one, because Jerry, he's got designs in this power too. And I sensed there was going to be some ego problems. And this is before they really started winning.
I don't think there was really an issue between the two until there was success. They were kind of joined together in failure. They were all each other had at the time, you know, when they went 1-15.
When they won, there wasn't going to be enough credit in this building for the two egos.
Less than 2 months after the Cowboys won a second straight Super Bowl, Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson's relationship reached a breaking point.
He dropped the famous quote that 500 coaches could have done what Jimmy Johnson did.
And he wants credit, and he deserved it. But Jerry just wanted, you know, someone to act like he owned the team. That's all Jimmy would have to do.
You had the best team in football, the best coach in football, and he was ready to let that coach walk. And not only did he let him walk, he shoved him out the door.
When we first got involved with the Cowboys, I was looking at a team that had only one coach in the history of the franchise, Tom Landry, 29 years. So when I thought about Jimmy becoming the head coach of the Cowboys, I really did have the idea that this was going to be very long-term. Within 2 years, I realized it was not going to be long-term. That and the fact that I really had danced with the devil when I bought the Dallas Cowboys, and it took some of my butt so that I lost the tolerance that maybe I should have had for the reality of the situation.
He had taken all the criticism as the owner in 1989. When they started winning, he was seeing Jimmy getting all the credit. He said, well, I took all the blame. How come I don't get any of the credit?
Now, by rights, who's supposed to have the most tolerance? The owner, the guy who makes the ultimate decision. I wasn't as tolerant as I look back on it and say, maybe you could have been a little more tolerant.
We have mutually decided that I would no longer be the head football coach with the Dallas Cowboys.
Choosing the next coach of the Cowboys was an easy decision for Jones. He quickly rang his former position coach from college.
That morning, I had had a colonoscopy, and everybody's asked me, was there any correlation between that and Jerry Jones? I said, no. He said, you want to coach Cowboys? And I said, I didn't know the job was open. And he said, well, it's going to be open tomorrow. And next day he called me and said, come on down. So that was my interview.
We were all curious who he'd bring in, but when it was Barry Switzer, that was a surprise because the guy hadn't been coaching in a number of years.
In Jones's first season with Switzer, Dallas reached the doorstep of becoming the first team ever to win 3 straight Super Bowls.
It was our moment, and it was our time, and we carry history with us.
And the Cowboys, because of turning the ball over 5 times, 3 of them in the first half of the first quarter, lose this championship game. The king is dead.
3 in a row.
Only one of 2 times I've ever teared up on a loss in the NFL. That was our year to go to the Super Bowl with a Cowboy team that, frankly, I thought was a superior team, and Deion Sanders was the difference. I'll never forget, after that game was over, I made a vow. I'm getting Deion Sanders on the Dallas Cowboys.
After losing the 1994 NFC Championship, wildcatter Jerry Jones went all in on another potential gusher.
My father had blinders on. He wanted one thing, and that was a trophy. And he knew he could get it by grabbing Deion.
When I saw Jerry say, if you out there, you gonna be a Dallas Cowboy, that was it. Now, a man is drafting me. Baby, how cool is that? Matter of fact, he's a billionaire. And he wants me? Well, darn it, I want him too.
I'm not a budget guy. Had I been a budget guy, we would have never bought the Dallas Cowboys. And I have always thought that even though I might be over budget, I could figure out a way to get the money to pay for it, go for the quality.
Everything with me going to the Cowboys was Jerry. Everybody in Jerry's family wasn't with it.
I was our capologist at the time. I was really the guy learning the cap. Had a really good feel for it.
And I know you're trying to get the numbers, and this is what we ought to be doing, is the hard numbers. But when you really look at it, we really don't have many like this.
And Jerry comes in there and goes, boy, he's smiling ear to ear, and he goes, guess what? And I said, what? We got us a cornerback. Deion's coming to Dallas. And he goes, it's very simple. We give him $13 million signing bonus and 3 years of minimum salaries. And I go, that's like record setting. That's not going to sit well with our team. And he goes, we can't do that. And he goes, well, I already did it.
He basically shoves me up against the door with his forearm, and I looked at him and kind of smiled. I said, you're really not going to hit me, are you?
And, of course, I took a deep breath, and he said, look, here's what we'll do. I can already tell you I'll be able to sell Troy, Michael, and Nemeth that this is going to be good for us. Doesn't hurt us under the cap.
I called a team meeting and put Deion's salary numbers on the board so that everybody could look at it. And I said, now I'm going to ask this room, do you want Deion or not? And, of course, the deal was a big yes, we want him immediately.
How you doing, baby?
What's up, baby boy?
Welcome to the squad.
What's going on? How much? You doing all right?
Yeah.
Where's all that money? Where's all that money? Where's all that? Hey, man, what's up, money?
Hey, Mike.
What's up, money? How that money doing, man?
What's going on?
Let me see what money smells like when it smells so good. What's up, man?
Jerry was not the person who offered me the most money in my free agency. It was the Oakland Raiders. If it wasn't for Jerry Jones, I would have never wanted to be a Cowboy. Love that dude. I love him to life.
The 7-year, $35 million contract was worth it.
Play action. It's going to be the bomb. Thing is nailed at the 45. It's intercepted by Deion Sanders. At the 40-yard line, he waves the ball in the air like Babe Ruth pointing to the outfield fence.
Of course, the rest is history. We go on with Deion Sanders and win a Super Bowl.
Throws the bomb to Deion Sanders. Caught. First down, Dallas at the 14. And prime time makes a 47-yard prime catch.
And Dallas, your Cowboys are world champions again.
Are you having a good time now, Jerry? I want to tell you, we did it our way, baby! We did it! We did it! We did it!
Jones always did things his way. In 1995, he challenged the NFL by signing separate sponsorship deals with Nike and Pepsi, while the league sponsors were Reebok and Coke.
And that's Phil Knight in a cowboy hat. Jerry Jones and Nike are joining forces, announcing a 7-year exclusive sponsorship agreement between Nike and Texas Stadium. It will send shockwaves throughout the National Football League.
The league sued Jones for $300 million. He countersued for $750 million.
Jones marched into the owners' meeting eager to defend his right to sign $20 million sponsorship deals with Pepsi and Nike.
This attack on NFL properties is part of the pressure for teams to move. Because if everyone's going to do their own marketing, then everyone's going to try to move to the best market.
They filed that suit. And when they did for $300 million, it did make my eyes water. And I knew I could lose the team. And I said to other owners, I want you to know one thing. If you win, I know you'll take my team. But if I win, you're going to pay every damn dime. I'm not going to be a good sportsman and a good team member.
The one thing that amazes me most about Jerry is that he comes in, our bumpkin, from somewhere in Arkansas. He's telling the NFL owners, you're not doing your business right. These guys have been in this game forever. They know what they're doing. They're all millionaires.
If we let Mavericks go out on their own, they'll destroy the league.
When Jerry bought the Cowboys, he had to buy the lease to operate Texas Stadium. And in doing so, a lot of the other owners laughed at him. They said, this guy wants in this league so bad, he's dumb enough to buy the stadium, too. We all know stadiums and stadium management are a financial ball and chain. So he wanted to make Texas Stadium a viable place for people to come 365 days a year. In order to do that, he had to sell these sponsorships for the stadium that ultimately led other owners to say, I need to get in the stadium business.
Of course, we were able to get together and in about 2 weeks get it resolved, and that's the way we operate today. Teams get to do their marks and logos, and the league gets to do the logos as a whole, and it's increased the scope of our revenues tremendously.
Jerry was totally right. He turned millionaires into billionaires. He turned the NFL, the most powerful sports league in the world, into boomtown. That's Jerry.
So Phil made a one-of-a-kind special shoe for you, Mr. Jones. The outside is actually the actual fabric of the Hall of Fame jacket. The inside is the material of the Hall of Fame jacket. For the sock liner, Mr. Knight, very, very pleased to present those to you, Jerry. Says, Jerry, congrats on your election to the Hall of Fame. You got it the old-fashioned way. You earned it. Phil Knight.
Goodness, how great is that? I think I'm going to have these on when I make my speech Saturday night. Really am.
And it is my great pleasure to tell you for the rest of time that your home will be in Canton, Ohio. That you will now be a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Jerry Jones may be cast in bronze, but at age 75, he's still living for today and the future.
Dude, look up 3 decades later, and the same guy that Saturday night in 1989, the Hooterville night, this guy goes into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Vegas would have made that 500 to 1. I personally would have made it, booked it at 1,000 to 1.
I hope there's some Cowboy fans here. Inspiration, dreams. We got here with a love of football and love of family.
Jones has taken the Hall of Fame stage before, presenting Larry Allen, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin.
There's not anyone that he cannot connect with. That's what makes Jerry Jones so special. Sooner or later, after you spend just a little time with him, You're going to call home and tell your mom and dad Jerry Jones is your best friend. That's just what he does.
Our third boy, we ended up with naming him Jones. We want to call him Jonesy. It's a special name, obviously. It's been a special meaning in our life.
For 28 years in the NFL, I've had more fun than any human should ever have.
Look at you.
Dressing him. How are you, Roger?
Good to be with you, man. Good to be in the family.
Hell yeah.
In another way, too. You're in the family.
Jerry a Hall of Famer.
Call me Hall of Famer.
Damn.
I hope that people that have been interested haven't really thought that I was taking myself quite as seriously as you might think. It's been a ball. And having said that, it seemed a little almost unfair to get recognized for something that I've had as much fun doing. If I got credit for anything, it was trying to continually put together what it takes in my mind to get to a Super Bowl. To the extent that there's personal recognition with the Hall of Fame, I'd trade that for a Super Bowl.
Since they last won a Super Bowl in 1995, the Cowboys have come close, but have left heartbroken each time.
I would be embarrassed, and it would embarrass you if I told you how much money I'd give if you could assure me I could win a Super Bowl.
And the drought will continue.
The buying the Cowboys were not a good financial deal, and they were not. At that time, I had some money. I traded it all just to get a chance to win a Super Bowl. So that'll give you an idea. And by the way, that's alive and well more than it was when I started.
Even after nearly 30 years in the NFL, Jerry Jones is still the league's most vocal owner.
Cowboys players wanted to show unity, but they were very adamant about wanting to separate that message from the national anthem.
If there's anything that is disrespectful to the flag, then we will not play. Okay, you understand? We will not, if we are disrespecting the flag, then we won't play.
His first and foremost priority, not allow anything to damage the brand known as the Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys are a big deal. We're the #1 thing that people look at. Because I don't know about you, but I like playing on Broadway. I like it.
When you own something, you'll do whatever it takes. You'll sweep the floors, you'll go out and get the customer by hand. You'll do anything to keep it going.
Jerry don't sweat, man. Jerry don't sweat because honestly, he says what he believes and he truly believes what he says.
I will say this, a lot of times you say things that I say, well, I wouldn't have said that. Even in the past 2 weeks.
Day one for you here has always been, always been challenging and controversial. So, living in that world of ambiguity and knowing that not every decision you make is popular is something that we've kind of become accustomed to.
I'm as comfortable as an old shoe, and it's really helped me when I make comments. I only mess up 50% of the time now. There was a time when it was 99%.
Jones has never been afraid to make tough decisions, like when constructing the Star, the Cowboys' new training facility.
I'm not sure that my brothers have been fired. I have 3 times. In building the Star, I may have been fired for spending too much money. When we figured out how to justify the spend, and then he bought into the vision, well, then he blew the thing out of the water, and then I got fired for not spending enough.
Just about the time everything's going good and you're relaxed and you're calm, you find a way to have another challenge. And I think that's when he's at his happiest. The big decision came to build the new stadium. You never dreamed that hard times would come in the financial world. You know, he just decided, we're just gonna make it bigger than we thought.
Bill Parcells, he said, you know, your father, there's no doubt, he's a 10-toe high guy. And I go, a 10-toe high guy, what does that mean? And he goes, he'll be retired and done when they wheel him on a gurney out of his office 10 toes high. I don't like to think about it because we have so much we just enjoy working together.
Well, I had a doctor recently tell me on a checkup, I see your age and you've got the brain of a 40-year-old. As long as I have the health and the real people doing the work behind me called Stephen, Charlotte, and Jerry, then I'm gonna be around for a little while.